Welcome back to Politics Tonight, everyone. Thank you so much for staying with us. Tonight, we get more insight and more perspectives into resolving River State political crisis. And I've been speaking with a policy development analyst, Dr. Jake Epelle. Dr. Epelle, thank you so much for staying with us. Now, let's quickly delve into other national issues and precisely about River State. River State is central to revenue generation in the country. How critical or strategic is this revival of the refinery for the economic revival of the country?
Excellent. I started with that sharing news, and and one of the dividends, the good work of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean that there's many past government that have tried to revive the refinery, and they couldn't. And he is blessed to be the president that had gone the extent that he has taken the stride. And hopefully before the new year, or at the beginning of the new year, we will have the refinery will start producing again, which is a very cheering news. And of course, it will revive economic activities in River State. When the refinery is working, a lot of people will flock into that state, especially those who are dealing with petroleum products. So it's a very good thing and a positive development and a high score for the president. And I can assure you, and assurance double sure, that the people of River State welcomes this development with a very, open arms. And we will make sure that we will contribute our quota to make sure that the entire country will benefit from this good gesture. So it's a good thing, and that's how God works. Sometimes you find a bad situation will produce a good, eventually produce a good and a cheering news. What the enemy meant for evil, God has a way of turning it around for good.
All right, so now that the PH refinery is working, how confident are you that other refineries will recommence operations soon? And how critical is it for Nigeria to have all of its refineries working?
Absolutely. I mean, what has worked, you see, success principle is the same everywhere. Whatever measure, whatever strategy, whatever equipment, and whoever was contracted to do this, and they deliver, and it is working, it is productive in a consistent manner, not just one-off. Then let them take the same principles, if possible, the same contractor to other refineries. They will be able to do the same thing that they have done in Port Harcourt Refinery. But let us see it on stream. It's very important. Let it not be a political statement. Let's ensure that we keep to the timeline, keep our words, and let's see the first petroleum product being pumped out of that refinery. It's a welcome development for the state. And I think it's also complementary, because this is the state that started giving the country the oil resources that the country is thriving on today. So it's a good thing that the first restoration or revival started in this very place where the first refinery also started. So it's a good development, something that is very cheering, and we applaud the president. And Jumoke, this is who I am. If you do well, I will say you're doing well. If you're not doing well, I'll say you're not doing well. Capital,
So let me also have your take on this very disturbing issue. And I'd like you to be very assertive on what exactly needs to be done in this regard. And most governors are not distributing palliatives as required. What do you think needs to be done in this regard?
Jumoke, you are staring me now. Okay. So, I was one of the first people that kicked against giving this palliative to governors. Some of them are my friends. They may not like what I'm saying, but it's the truth, And I think they should be held accountable. Let them come out and account for everything. Sorry about that, my son. Let them come out and account for everything that they were giving to ensure that at the end of the day, they're accountable to what they are giving, and for them to show us proof who have received this palliative. One of the things that amazed me was when they came out, and spoke all the grammar to say that, hey, they have trusted data. Meanwhile, the data they said, and they said that of the federal government data invariably lacks integrity, invariably. Meanwhile, the data they said they have were given to them by Ministry of Humanitarian and Bureau of Statistics, which is a federal government organ. Now, Jumoke, that did not make sense to me. It didn't make sense to me, okay? And I know some of these state government, many of them have the resources, but they will not invest in mining data, especially of the vulnerable group. So how come you're now saying you have your data is trusted, your data has all the integrity and all that, and you'll be able to implement? Let them, I challenge them, let them publish who have received what from them. Who have received what from them, and I'm surprised that not too many of them will be able to account for what was given to them, period.
All right.
There are some that can, and there are some that have actually taken the giant stride, by reaching out, especially to my community, the most vulnerable in the society. There are some of them that have done well, and those that have done that are those that have an inclusive implementation team, inclusive of persons with disability, and they've been able to distribute the palliatives and, do the cash transfer effectively, and that's it. But many of them have not been able to do, and I'm looking forward to one day the president calling every one of them to account for what they were giving.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, let's quickly get back to River State and how the PDP has reacted to this tussle. The PDP has come out to say there's no remedy yet for the lawmakers who defected to APC. How do you view that comment by the opposition party? And how come the PDP didn't show up in this whole matter but described the president's intervention as illegal? Would you also say that the PDP is a weak opposition party?
Well, I'm not a member of PDP, and I don't intend to be one, and I'll never be one. Neither am I APC. I don't intend to be one. I will never be one. I am strictly apolitical, But, however, this is the way politicians do things. Sometimes their response is too slow, that when they begin to respond, their response becomes meaningless. When all these crises were brewing, and I have good friends in PDP just like I have good friends in APC, nobody spoke up, nobody stood up. Why would you wait when it becomes too late, or when the situation has become a crisis situation, and then you wait, and then you want to ride on the wave of crisis? It's not acceptable, I think they responded too late, too little, too late. However, I think it was Martin Luther who said, the time is always right to do what is right, So let them interrogate the issue, stand on the side of law, and defend the integrity of their the rule that guides them, and ultimately the Constitution.
All right,
of the
Dr.
Federal.
Pele. As we wrap up tonight.
But just let me make one last point.
All right.
I want to also use this channel to say, whether you're PDP or APC, nobody, not one person, have any right to create crisis in this lovely state. God has blessed us, and very soon our refinery is running. We don't want any form of crisis. The average Rivers man resolve his or her issues in an amicable way. So whether you're a youth, you're in the creek, or you're in the street of Port Harcourt, don't accept from any politician, both sides, don't accept anybody to push you to breaking the law. You have no right to break the law. You cannot solve illegality with illegality. Period.
All right then. So as we wrap up tonight, let me get your comments on the president's latest intervention. In the spirit of Christmas celebration, the president has slashed the transportation fare by 50%. What do you say to that?
Excellent. Listen, my dear, this is one thing about Bola Tinubu. Bola Tinubu truly have a heart of compassion. You can't take that away from him. And I'm speaking from the point of knowledge of people he has helped. He has a heart of compassion, and so I'm not surprised, okay? But I'm also looking forward to seeing him go to church and celebrate with us, just like this Kaduna State governor did. Go to church and celebrate. After all, your wife is a Christian. Go to church and celebrate with us, Mr. President. You're the president of Christians. You're the president of Muslims. So go to church and celebrate with us.
Right. I'm sure the president has heard you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I've been speaking with a policy development analyst, Dr. J. Epelle. Tonight, we discussed resolving Rivers State political crisis. Thank you so much, Dr. Epelle. And Merry Christmas in advance. Thank you.
Jumoke, I appreciate you and I appreciate your station. Babajide, a good friend of mine, thank you for standing for what is right. Thank you for being the journalist that you are. God bless you and have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much, Dr. Epelle. God bless you too. Good night.